Welcome, everybody, to Pinfalls. Today we're doing Pinfalls WWE Royal Rumble. I, of course, am John of JohnGSB.com and the Everyday Fan. Alongside me, my partner in crime, podcast extraordinaire, Tommy Ellis.
Happy birthday, John.
Thank you, Tommy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How old are we now? 75? Is this the big 7-5? Is
It's
this
58.
unbelievable?
Yes, or as
Man.
I like to say, I'm celebrating the 37th anniversary of the Chicago Bears Super Bowl victory.
Yeah. They won on your birthday, huh?
21st, man. Like I can
Unbelievable.
remember any of that day.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Regardless of how much you want to lie about your age. Let's get into the Royal Rumble here, man.
Well,
The road to WrestleMania is beginning this Saturday, man.
we got five matches, three matches, and the two rumbles. So let's save the two rumbles for the end because that's where the conversation will get crazy. So the first match we got is Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in a Mountain Dew lights out match. Now they have
Yeah,
sponsors for the matches. Can we get a
yeah.
sponsor like the Johngy?
Well, that's the trick, isn't it? As far as this match goes, I don't see why they would do anything other than have Bray Wyatt win. He's just coming back, and this is like his first real major match that he's had since he's been back. I love LA Knight, and I'm glad that they went back to his original gimmick of being LA Knight. I did not like when they changed it, and so I'm
Yeah.
glad someone stepped in and fixed that. So I'm a big LA Knight guy, but Bray Wyatt there's just no reason for him to not win. They've got to get some momentum going underneath him. So I'm going with Bray.
Well,
And
the only reason I could see Bray losing is they're talking about that other character they're bringing in, which is rumored to be his brother Bo Dallas, and if somehow he cost him the win, and then that spawns that sort of storyline. But either way, I don't see what that does for Bray Wyatt. He's got to win this match. Like I said, it's his first big one coming back. You don't come back and lose.
yeah. Apologies on my end if you can hear there's a little construction going on in the apartment here, so you might hear a little bit of saws rolling in the background, but
We're
we'll
just expanding the John GRL studios.
yes. For
The fans, we've got to
this
put
is
what are we putting?
ultimately for your benefit. So if you could just bear with us during construction here.
We'll bring in some grandstands. We're going to have some luxury boxes for the fans,
Yes,
sort of
yes.
thing.
We'll be serving Mexican Coke and taco salads. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so is
Moving
it
right along.
so
So we,
you're going with Bray then?
yes, you know what? I forgot too. Our standings, lifetime. You won last year. I won the year before.
Right.
I am 52 and 43. You are 50 and 45. I've got you by 2 wins lifetime. 2 wins over 95 predictions. That's pretty impressive.
All right. Well, I'll catch you. I'll catch you. It'll be
Well, this is the tie-breaking year,
it's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Yeah. Okay.
All
So we
right.
got the
Next
women's
match.
match for the Raw Women's title. We've got the champ Bianca Belair facing the challenger Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. This is kind of a tough one because again, I feel like Alexa Bliss is in a spot now where they're really working her character towards being more evil, but I don't know that they're going to push her quite to the point where she was before when she was completely under the spell of Bray Wyatt. um I think that on the other hand, Bianca winning seems to be the most likely scenario here. um I'm not quite sure how they'll be able to do it in a way where Alexa has can maintain some forward momentum because she has it. She's moving forward with everything, but I don't know how they're going to keep that going. There's got to be some sort of, to your point, if someone, if someone does get involved with the Bray Wyatt situation, that could also have an impact on whatever happens with Alexa Bliss. And so, you know, I would guess I am just going to go on the safe side, and I'm going to go with Bianca Belair on this one. I just feel like it's not quite. I don't know where they would go with Bliss with the title moving forward, heading into WrestleMania right now. So I think Bianca Belair is probably going to take that title to Mania.
Well, I agree. And I think it's not that difficult to keep Alexa Bliss rolling. You could have her, it could be any number of things. She could just go psycho crazy and just beat the living crap out of Bianca Belair, but still Bianca somehow pulls off the win. Like she pushes her all the
Well, if
way
she
to the
gets
end.
disqualified, then Bianca
That's the other way.
keeps the
Right.
title, you know. So
But I mean,
yeah,
she could pummel her throughout the whole match, and then Bianca, somehow hulks up, for lack of a better term, and
yeah,
takes the win. And then Alexa still had a good match, or there could be the disqualification.
yeah. Well,
So
yeah. So I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair.
as
But I am intrigued with the Alexa Bliss situation though, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes.
well, the next match we have is for the Universal title. We got Roman Reigns champ versus Kevin Owens, one of your old Resistance Pro um, mates.
Comrades, yes,
Right.
he was there in the early days. I didn't know him very well, but crossed paths with him.
I watched one of the early shows up in the third floor of Excalibur with him for until he was ready for his match. He was standing up there with us.
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, El Generico was hanging around then too. It's funny because I was backstage and you know, I had this was my first time ever seeing him and everything, and he had a really good match. And afterwards, I just was like, "Man, you're really good, man. You're a good wrestler." You know, it's like not knowing it.
I regret not getting pictures with those two guys, but it was very early, like one of the first couple of shows that I kind of wasn't really secure about taking pictures with everybody. So
Yeah,
um,
but
yeah.
it was like it's like anyone else on the independent scene would be like, "Yeah, no, duh, it's El Generico." I'm sitting there going like, "Oh, you're not bad, yeah." You know? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so Kevin Owens, let's get down to it. Kevin Owens, I think, is not the guy who's going to dethrone Roman Reigns. I do think it will be a hell of a match. I think that the build up to it has been very good. Um, I am curious to see um, how it all breaks down. I think it's going to be just a barn burner of a match. I really do. I'm excited about the match, but as far as the outcome, I definitely think Reigns is going to they're going to take it to WrestleMania. They got to take him to WrestleMania. They're not going to have him lose the title after all this time 2 months before Mania. So,
No, I agree completely. I didn't want to say this at the beginning of the show because I didn't want to give it all away. I really think these three matches, the singles matches, I really think they're pretty predictable.
yeah.
Roman Reigns has to win this. All due respect to Kevin Owens, he's not going to win it now. He'll win the title at some point down the line because everybody gets the title at some point. But you don't build Roman up this long, this far, and then have him lose to Owens right before WrestleMania. It just doesn't make sense.
And it's not even, it's like you said, it's not even about Owens. The timing is a big part of it. I mean, I
Right.
don't care who it is right now. They're not going to, he's not dropping the title 2 months before Mania. There's not even like a shock value in that. You know,
No.
it's like you're piss everyone off, but you could do
Yeah.
that, I guess. But, you know, um, yeah, so I don't see that happening, but I do expect it to be a very good match.
Well, I think all three of these are going to be good matches so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
We got the Royal Rumble, and just as a little teaser, we're going to do the men's first, just for the heck of it. But the top five favorites according to Las Vegas betting odds: Cody, followed by Sammy, followed by The Rock, followed by Seth, followed by Drew.
Okay. So I'm on board with all of those except Drew. I don't see
Well,
Drew
Drew is a
happening.
really long shot.
That's a real long shot. Um, Sammy, here's the thing. Okay. I do think that it would be entertaining to see that dynamic of Sammy wins the Royal Rumble and then everything that could happen between now and then. The problem is that I mean, this thing with Reigns has got to end. It's got to end. Okay. Someone's got to win the title. So if we're assuming that whoever is going to win this is going to probably be the one to take the title off of him, if you put Sammy in that position, and let's say Sammy somehow wins and he gets the title, what are you doing on that Monday night after WrestleMania with him as the champion? I just don't see, coming off the heels of this incredible run, anyone who takes the title after him is going to basically, have some very big shoes to fill. But you're going to bury poor Sammy in that. Like, he'll have a nice pop for a while, and he can ride it for maybe a couple of months or something. But I just don't see there being much of a title run in it for him if he ended up winning the Rumble. So it's a really cool idea. And I think under some slightly different circumstances, if there wasn't so much gravity to Reigns having to lose the title, I would say that, storyline wise, Zayn would be a lot of fun to see them go through that whole thing. He somehow becomes the honorary Uce, works his way in, finally earns the trust of everybody. But then when his feet are put to the fire, he ends up dethroning the guy. Yeah, that would be a fun story to see. But I don't think that's where it's going to go. Who are the other guys here? We had.
Well, I mean, you don't have to pick these other guys. These are just the odds on favorites.
No, but
Cody, Sammy, Rock, Seth, Drew.
Cody, Sammy, Rock, Seth, Drew.
Now, okay. I don't think Rock has been announced for it. I think the others.
Well, no, he would be a surprise guy. And the thing is here's where I stand on the Rock. I think if you're going to have the Rock, and you have the same situation basically, but to a lesser degree, if the Rock comes in and suddenly he dethrones the head of the table, okay, a couple things happen with that. It brings down Roman Reigns. I mean, it does put. I think it does make him look weak, even though it's The Rock,
right?
But The Rock can just blow into town, and he can just like that take him out.
Exactly.
And that's the end of his reign. The other thing is now you've got The Rock as the champion. Does The Rock have time to be the champion in the WWE for more than a few months? I mean, because no one's going to want to see him as a transitional champion. Nobody wants him to win the title, and then like a month or two later, he ends up losing it in like a battle royal or something like that, So I really think that when they do the Rock and Reigns match, it can't be for a championship. It can be for the title of head of the table. And then that would be a great match because The Rock could lose that. And then the honor of that is passed on to, like that's the lion.
The torch.
Right. The torch is passed, and it's like the lion, beating the other older lion and becoming head of the pride. That's the way that match, I think, should go. I don't think a title should be on the line. So the Rock winning the Rumble, not a good idea. What that brings us down to, because I'm operating on this list only because I do believe that it's either going to be Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins. I see a lot of potential in a Seth Rollins match with Reigns. You've got the obvious history of the Shield and everything. And they have fought each other many times in pay-per-views, and I think possibly even at WrestleMania before. But the thing is that they are both right now at their absolute peak. Neither of them have ever been as good as they are right now. Seth Rollins is just absolutely off the charts right now. He is at the top of his game. And as far as I'm concerned, so is Roman Reigns. So, I mean, like, that's two very combustible elements there with history. And, there's a lot there. Now, on the other side of things, you got Cody Rhodes. Cody's very exciting because he's coming back from an injury. Cody only had a short run when he first came back at Mania last year, but it was a hell of a run. And he and Seth Rollins went at it and had a bunch of great matches and everything. And he would be someone who is at least fresh. And he's someone on that Monday night after WrestleMania that if he's holding that title, that guy can roll with that title well into SummerSlam, if not further. So, feet to the fire, I'm going with Cody Rhodes.
Well, Cody is the favorite choice of obviously Vegas, but I think he's the sentimental choice. He's what a lot of fans are predicting. So does the WWE go with we'll give the fans what they want, the predictable Cody Rhodes, or do they go, we're going to swerve him and give him somebody else? Every point you made sense for once. But thank you. But if Seth wins, then you got Seth going into Mania, and does Cody then challenge him? And then does Seth isn't going to? I don't see Seth a transitional champ either, like a quick transitional champ.
So here's one situation that's an extreme possibility, and one that I would not like, is if they end up somehow configuring this, no matter who wins the Rumble, and turning the main event into a triple threat match where you've got Rollins, Rhodes, and so that way you have the excuse that he lost the match, but like maybe he wasn't pinned or something like that, and then Rhodes is the champ or whatever, and that way they're all in the main event. I don't like that. I like a solid one-on-one, even if there's interference, fine, whatever. But I want the match to be a one-on-one match and not a three-way or anything like that. I hate when they do that, especially at WrestleMania. Yeah. Especially at WrestleMania. Like when Benoit won the title, he was in there with Michaels and Triple H. Now, granted, two of the best ever, but I think Triple H was the one walking in with the title, and it just kind of weakened Benoit's win because Michaels was in there too, and it was just like, I don't know, it doesn't always, that kind of match is fine, if the champion's not that strong of a champion and you're taking the title off of them, or if the champion's just going to retain. But if there's going to be a title switch, someone ends up looking weak in that whole thing, or it looks like an excuse is made for the champion for when they lose it, So,
and I think there's just too many three ways and fatal fours. I like to see the one-on-one, mano a mano, see what happens.
And as far as you were saying about, does the WWE try to swerve them? If it makes sense, then sure, you can do that. But again, when you're talking about Mania, you got to think about that Monday Night Raw and that SmackDown and the week following. Who's going to show up as champion? Who's going to be showing up having had one of the best matches of the night? And there's only certain people who can pull that stuff off. And like I said, Seth and Cody are definitely the top two, in my opinion, who can walk that aisle Monday night respectively and then go forward from there. I think Cody is very exciting for everybody, and so it might be the obvious choice, but at the same time you want everyone to go home happy too.
Well, with all that being said, as much as I was leaning towards Seth Rollins the whole time, up until about 10 minutes before we got on, I was leaning towards Seth Rollins, but I agree with everything. They have to go with Cody Rhodes after his long absence. Coming back, he takes the title, goes into WrestleMania as a champ. The only other way they could do it is if he wins the title at WrestleMania, but who's he going to beat at WrestleMania? He's not going to beat Roman Reigns. They're not going to have Seth win tomorrow night and then Saturday, and then have Cody beat him that quickly. So I think Cody's got to win the Royal Rumble, and then he's got to go and face the champ.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
I am picking Cody as well.
The other thing with Cody is, with all, Seth has at some point during this reign that Roman has been on, no pun intended, he has fought Seth Rollins for the title. Yeah. So it's like pretty much everybody on the roster has had their shot at him. The one guy who's in this whole mix right now who hasn't had a shot at him, and who Reigns doesn't have any experience in the ring with, is Cody Rhodes. So it's just one more reason why, he's the fresh one. He's the new guy. He proved himself in his debut, got injured, came back. Everybody loves the comeback story, and they were already hot and high for him to begin with before he left. So I think him coming back is going to be huge. I think him going into Mania is going to be a big deal, and he's going to end up. I think he's got the best shot of anybody. If he wins that Rumble, he's winning at Mania.
I agree.
So.
We're 4 for 4. Now we got the women's Rumble. Again, the top 5 odds on favorite to win is, ironically, the top choice is an RR, Rhea Ripley, Royal Rumble. See what I did there? Rhea Ripley, Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Becky. Number 3 is Raquel Rodriguez, another RR. Number 4 is Bayley, and number 5 is Alexa Bliss. Notice Ronda Rousey, another RR, is not on that list.
Well, Emma and Zelina Vega, Shayna Baszler, Candice LeRae.
They're in it, yeah, but I'm saying these are the top 5.
Those are the top ones. So I'm looking at the list, and there's 7 announced so far.
Of the 30.
Of that 7, I mean, so we're really limited in our prediction ability here, but yeah, of those 7, I'm 100% behind Rhea Ripley. She has.
Well, you don't have to pick up those 7. You could go and say Sarah Logan.
No, I mean, even still, I still stand by the idea of or the prediction of Rhea Ripley. She has had she's like had a very successful year under the radar. You know what I mean? It's like, because she hasn't been doing a lot of like singles matches and things like that. She's gotten out there and her matches have been great and everything, but she's really developed herself as part of Judgment Day, and she's built herself up into being a very, sort of sinister character and a badass, and, clearly very strong and a threat. And, and she's, she had a great match with Charlotte Flair at one point, and I think that she's probably one of the more interesting women's characters going on right now. And the other ones that are worthwhile are already in the championship matches. You know what I mean? So of the list I've seen so far, and anyone else, I mean, there's no one else that's on the roster that's like jumping to my mind where I'm like, oh yeah, but what about, I'm sure they'll be in the Rumble, or it'll be a surprise entrant or whatever. Yeah. No, I'm going to go with Rhea Ripley, man.
Yeah, same here. Rhea Ripley is the obvious choice, I think, because
so we're not getting anywhere on this pay-per-view.
No,
we're in
a
full agreement.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, I looked at some other sites too for their predictions, and we've pretty much agreed with everybody. And there are a few sites that would pick. Somebody picked Sammy, somebody picked Rollins. There's a few odd choices there, but for the most part, every site was picking 4 of the 5 that we did.
Right.
So, I don't know if this is just that predictable, or if we're all just on the same wavelength. But
well, I mean, you never know. The WWE creative machine sometimes does have a way of leading the masses in one direction, knowing that they're gonna send them down a different one. So it's why we got to watch, man. That's
all right.
That's why I watch the show.
But now this isn't part of the bet, but just for fun, any surprise entrants on either side?
I think we're going to definitely see Brock Lesnar. I think he's going to show up, and do what, I don't know, but he'll get into it with someone in the Rumble or something, and then they can have a match, because they're going to have to bring Brock to Mania somehow or another. I'm sure that they don't want to miss out on him. Cena, yeah, maybe, it's possible, because Cena's someone who can go in there and get eliminated and it wouldn't be a big deal. You know what I mean? It's not like him coming in there means he's got to win it. The Rock going in there means he has to win it. The Rock's not going to go in there and get eliminated by anybody unless.
Well, The Rock could go in there and get eliminated if it's like Sammy eliminates him for the tribe.
That would be something. That's a good idea. That would be a hell of a moment right there. And then good
So that
idea,
would
man.
elevate Sammy even a little bit, and could possibly still
But it would
set.
also be one of those shocking, you could see, I can just see the Rock's face, like when his eyes get real big and everything, and he starts like jutting his head around and looking around and everything, and then the crowd's going to want him to just go chasing Sammy out of there, and that's something they could do the rest of the night. So like I have a camera backstage where you just keep seeing
Yes.
Sammy running and the Rock coming after him and stuff like that. That's some old school WWE right there.
And they could play it out in vignettes, all up to whatever. Because
Yeah.
Rock wouldn't actually have to wrestle. He could just do,
That would be great.
stuff.
They could do it for like a whole month of just him on the run from The Rock ever since the Rumble. And so,
Yeah.
I think like Elimination Chamber might be the next pay-per-view or whatever. And just do it all the way up to that pay-per-view until he catches him at the pay-per-view. I don't know why we're not writing for them. You know what I mean? We're right here. We're right here, Vince.
We
Give
could
us
do
a
it.
call.
What about the women's side?
I gotta say, I'm not all that excited about the women's Rumble. But if they're gonna have, everybody loves to see Trish Stratus or Lita. They're usually, pretty available and on hand. Michelle McCool. I'm sure the Bellas will probably show up.
Nobody wants the Bellas.
Well, I don't want the seed of Bellas, which is why I know they'll be there. So it's just you're wasting a space there. I'd rather see like, Jacqueline or, I don't know, some of the more old school.
Holly.
Yeah, everyone's happy to see, Molly Holly, especially if she does the Mighty Molly routine,
They did her bad last year, though.
Yeah. But regardless, I mean, I like seeing a lot of the older or previous, I should say, female talent. And, they'll probably bring up some people from NXT,
Will Sarah Logan be in it?
I hope so.
Valhalla.
Yeah, I hope so. They should, she's good as their manager and everything, but she should also be recognized as a force to be reckoned with too. So I think her in a Royal Rumble would be an excellent way to let her kind of showcase her stuff a little bit. And so,
what about our old interview subject from the Johngy podcast, available on Spotify, Billy Starks?
Do I think she'll show up in the Rumble?
Bring her in the Rumble.
Well, that would really be some groundbreaking news right there. Hey, I wish her the best. I hope
wearing one of our shirts.
I hope she does. Yeah. But
I got one more for you. Is there any chance?
Oh boy,
any chance?
I know what this is. Who's coming here?
Who's coming?
Reagan Lydale.
No. Although yes.
Yeah.
No. ESV. Erica St. Vaughn.
Buddy, it would be a WrestleMania moment that none would soon forget.
That would be a holy moment.
I promise you that, and it would live up to everything I've ever made it out to be. Now
you would tell me, right? You wouldn't just hide that.
No, I wouldn't tell you. There's no way. You
wouldn't give me the scoop.
No, I would keep that under wraps.
Oh, you're off the show. I'm getting
dude. I know you're going to watch the show, so I mean, I want you to have that moment. If you know ahead of time, like if I thought like he's going to miss it if I don't tell him about it or something like that, that'd be different. But I know you're going to see it, so I'm going to wait until you have that, so you can. I'm giving you the gift of the experience of seeing me run down, dressed up as a woman in the Women's Royal Rumble, just completely out of nowhere. I know I'm giving you the gift of that moment. So
you're giving me something.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Let's wrap this up and get out of here.
Well, we're 5 for 5.
We're 5 for 5. We apologize. This has been a complaint from some of our listeners, but you know what? We're gonna keep at it. This isn't our fault. It's the WWE.
But here's the thing. I mean, we're not going to be fake. We're not going to just pick opposite just for the sake of picking opposite.
No, and we justify why we feel the way we do about our
And we don't
choices
talk
too.
beforehand. I mean, I make my
No,
picks, you know, I make my picks beforehand. You make your picks beforehand. And the first time we come on, that's when we reveal them.
yeah, and there's times honestly where I'm surprised that you're agreeing with me, because there's sometimes where I think you're going to probably go the other way on some
Well, the
stuff.
same thing with
So
you. There's, you've pulled out some surprise on me. Now, if there is somebody that feels that they could take us down, maybe we'll think about putting them on with us.
well, we are open to having some guests, and I have a few people in mind. I won't reveal who they are just right now, but yeah, we might have some people come on here and see if they do any better than us. So,
Hey, we're doing fine for lifetime stats. We're 52 and 43, and we're above 500.
yeah,
We'd win money if we were betting Vegas.
yeah. Yeah, well, maybe that's the moral of this show, is that you and I need to start going to Vegas, betting on the paper.
That's the moral of the show.
That's the takeaway. That's the takeaway.
Well, Viva Las Vegas. Let's wrap this one up.
Maybe like our 100th episode or something. We'll go to Vegas and we'll bet the farm. So, all right. Well, everybody, enjoy the Royal Rumble.
During Saturday.
Live Saturday on Peacock. Check it out and see if we are indeed right, and it was as predictable as we seem to think it is. So until next time, John.
Enjoy the Rumble, everybody. Thank you for listening. Tommy, thank you for your usual contributions, and go WWE.